Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Absolutely Beast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me and watching my videos. If you're here, if you're back and you've seen some of my other videos, I thank you. I'm very grateful for that, and I appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. So before this race gets started, I have a little thing I need to say real quickly. I won't give it too much time. This is driving on Road Atlanta, and this is a Motul Autech Nissan GTR, which I just purchased. It's a DLC car, a little car pack thing, so I had to pay a couple bucks to get it. But I bought it, and somebody who was here who decidedly didn't enjoy my video that I put, took my video that I had the least amount of views on in the last 3 weeks and decided to watch that and then leave block o text comments about how I was a terrible driver, how I don't deserve, how I quote, seriously, you shouldn't be giving people advice on how to drive, you have no consistency and all you do is ram the AI off the track. Which is something I've addressed in previous videos, but this person just went out of their way. You know, if you watch my videos and you don't like it, that's totally fine. I get it. I watch videos and don't like them all the time, but you don't have to go and criticize someone who's actually putting themselves out there and actually putting up content. So I'm trying to help other people. There's lots of you guys out there who love Forza or love driving games and you want to get better, and that's who I'm appealing to. And if you're not that person, if you already know everything about driving and you're already the best driver that's out there, then my videos aren't for you, and the burden is on you for deciding to watch a video where you're going to get pointers on how to drive. So I don't really have time for that crap, and unfortunately I had to spend time on that crap. So great, just got a message as I'm recording this. So this is my first time driving this car. This is my first time driving this track in several months, and this is also my third race in the last couple of weeks. So what you'll see here is one rewind right here. And the rest, you'll see maybe just a slight tap here and there as I slowly work my way properly to the front of the pack. And then after I do that, I nail down at least 3 very consistent laps and just destroy these guys. I end up beating them by more than 13 seconds. So if you don't like the video, fine, I get it. Don't take the time to leave a comment. I don't appreciate your negative comments. So thank you for that. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about the demo because the demo has, they announced obviously what the demo is, and it's the same demo we've seen at E3 and at Gamescom. And what it is now there was an additional one added at Gamescom where you could race the Radical, but that's not going to be in the demo. The demo is going to be the Nissan GTR on the Nürburgring, the GP circuit. It's going to be the Mercedes Tank Pool Racing Truck on Mugello, and it's going to be the GT2 RS on the Dubai circuit. So I'm just going to kind of talk briefly about those. I have some information. I'm just going to talk about those tracks just because you know, that's all we can do at this point since there's nothing out there. So I just thought the GTR here was fitting on this track. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good car. I'm not a huge fan of the GTR, but you know, for being my first time driving it, it actually handled about as well as I would have thought it to. So anyway, so Mugello circuit is where I'm going to start. It's Mugello is the name of the city in Tuscany, Italy. It's like a 3¼ mile track, or you know, 5¼ kilometers if you're not from the United States. 15 turns in the track, and it's a track that started in the 1920s. So they were racing there on public roads in the 1920s. You know, kind of like some of the other tracks around the world, like Bathurst and stuff like that. They're racing on, you know, these public roads, and they had really long laps. Really long, you know, mile-wise. Like it's this year, you know, 60 kilometers each, which is pretty long. So they did this for a while and for a few years, but there was an unfortunate accident where during the only time it was closed was actually on race day. So on like open practice and qualifying, or not qualifying, but like open practice and stuff like that, the track was still a public road. That was the last year they raced, was in 1970, because a guy crashed his Alfa Romeo GTA into a crowd of people and he killed a 7-month-old baby, seriously injuring 4 other people, including 2 really young children. And so after that they said, you know, no more. And they basically decided at that point that they needed to make a new circuit, dedicated circuit. So they did that, and that opened in 1974. So it was a little bit east, it says here, of the original circuit. But anyway, so it does hold a grade 1 FIA license, which means it does meet the standards to host a Formula 1 race, but they don't really do Formula 1 races there. and the unofficial track record is 121.035, which basically is a really similar track time to Catalunya, like within a second of Catalunya circuit. So, anyway, that was just something that I found interesting about that track, and that one's coming back. It's been out of the game for a couple years, and obviously it's a celebrated return. Everybody's super excited for that, and I believe that's the reason why they put it in the demo, was because everyone's really excited for it, and it's making its return. So anyway, that's a cool one. So the next one was the Dubai circuit. I couldn't find too much information on this until I searched for the Jebel Hafit Pass, which is what it was talking about. So it's actually it's a mountain, which it literally translates from Arabic as empty mountain, but it's mainly in United Arab Emirates. Now, part of the mountain does straddle the border with Oman, which is a neighboring country, and then the summit's totally in United Arab Emirates. But there's a lot of cool stuff there. There's a lot of caves and stuff. They have, bats, foxes, snakes, rodents, all that kind of stuff. Of course, everything you'd expect in a desert. And actually, cool thing, they found a lizard. They thought there was a lizard that they thought was extinct, and they actually found one there in 1982 and kind of proved themselves wrong. But there's also, near the mountain, they excavated like 500 tombs that were, between 3200 and 2700 BC, so, 5,000-year-old tombs, which are pretty sick. But yeah, so there's like a tourist center there. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They built a radar station and a big hotel up at the top. Also a palace. So those of you that don't know, a lot of the Middle Eastern countries over there have really extraordinarily rich folks who are up at the top. Like you think about the top 1%, or you hear about the rich people of the world, and these folks over there make the rich people of the world look like absolute peasants. I mean, they have unbelievable amounts of money and wealth. And so there's a massive palace up there. Now the road, the Jebel Hafit Mountain Road, was built in 1980. It's a little over 7 miles long going up the mountain, and the grade, which is 11.7 kilometers. It goes up the mountain, and the change in grade is 3,900 feet, or 1,200 meters, which is a really huge elevation change from bottom to top. There's 60 turns. It's got 3 lanes, so there's 2 for climbing. Those of you who've driven on mountain roads know that there's always, a lot of times there's 2 for climbing, because big trucks and stuff have a really difficult time going uphill like that. Now it says it's also an average of 8% grade, which is pretty steep. I mean, as you're saying here, 3,900 feet or 1,200 meters. It's immaculate as far as the road's concerned. It was considered by a certain website, Edmunds.com, to be the best driving road in the world. But it's just a very nice road. It was built by a company out of Cologne, Germany. And it's actually also a road that's frequented by cyclists also, so it's a big challenge for them. And that's pretty cool. Now, a lot of the stuff in Dubai and United Arab Emirates is very new growth stuff. That place has absolutely exploded as sort of like a wealth center, sort of just like a showcase for the rest of the world. It's just sort of sprung up within the last couple of decades at the most. It's just really kind of sprung up. So a lot of the stuff there is new, so it's not surprising that this mountain road is extremely new and just really clean and immaculate. So, and the last one would be the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. So, there's a lot of stuff about Nürburgring. They built it around a Nürburg castle, which was an old castle that was in Nürburg, Germany, and there were originally a bunch of different configurations of this, but and of course everyone knows the Nürburgring, but this is actually not, technically the Nürburgring. It's the Nürburgring GP circuit, and so the GP circuit was something that they built in the early '80s. Because of several issues that they have on the track. Very dangerous conditions for Formula One tracks. And the Formula One drivers actually boycotted Nürburgring at the French Grand Prix. They decided they were going to boycott the Nürburgring unless they made all these changes. And they did, and then they raced it for 6 more seasons, and then they stopped. Niki Lauda, in the famous movie Rush, which is a great movie, actually tried to get the drivers to boycott that year at the Nürburgring, and they didn't want to do it. And so they ended up racing, and he crashed on lap 2, and because he had a full tank of fuel, he ended up getting really severe burns all over his body. A lot of the problems there were, since the track's so spread out, there's not a lot of marshals and not a lot of safety cars and stuff like that. So he was actually saved by his fellow drivers because there were not enough marshals and stuff there. So it's a reminder, and they just haven't raced there since. And that's actually why they built the Grand Prix circuit, was because of that. was because of the danger of that, and they still wanted people to come there. So due to the fact that it's a smaller track and the ticket prices are kind of high, they've sort of faded in popularity. So they actually alternate with Hockenheim Ring now in the F1 series in order to go every other one. So anyway, guys, hope you found that interesting. Demo's coming up shortly, September 19th. That's a little over a week away, and I'm super thrilled. I hope you guys are too. I hope you'll come back to my channel and check it out. I'll have plenty of races. I'm going to put up, probably at least like 6 races or so on there over the course of a couple days. So make sure you check back for that. Thank you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check back soon. Make sure you check out my stuff. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.